we have another issue that we have to deal with now, which is the federal government is passing a tax plan. And the tax plan is going to be highly problematic to the state of New York. First of all, what the tax plan says is it was a tax plan that was marketed to help the middle class and the working families. That is not what it is. Fact, 60% of the benefit, of the tax benefit, goes to the top 1%. 60% of the tax benefit goes to the top 1%. That's the fact. Their opinion, those who defend it, is, well, if you stimulate the economy with the top 1% and the corporations get a break, they will wind up paying workers higher wages. That's an opinion. How do you know the corporation will pay the workers higher wages? Is there a provision in the tax code that says they must take those monies and pay the workers? No. But we assume the corporations will take that tax cut and give it to the workers. Or they could pay the CEO a higher salary, or they could do a dividend, or they could go buy a summer house in the south of France, right? So there is no connectivity to the fact that the tax cut will actually stimulate and do more for the middle class at all. One thing we know about the tax plan, it has a provision that is especially problematic to the state of New York. And that is the provision that eliminates the deductibility of state and local taxes. Now, this is an arrow designed at the heart of the state of New York. Property taxes and state income taxes are what we have been fighting for 7 years. When we talk about property taxes, remember, property taxes are 2.5 times what the state income tax is. Some of the highest property taxes in the United States of America are right here in New York. And we've been fighting that battle every year. First time we passed a 2% tax cap to cap the growth of property taxes. State picked up the Medicaid funding from counties so we could keep property taxes low. We just last year started a shared services initiative to get local governments to work together. This federal tax plan blows that all out of the water. When you eliminate the deductibility of the property taxes, you know what you're doing? You're raising everybody's property taxes 20 to 25%. Think about it. Highest property taxes in the United States, highest property taxes by percentages of home value in upstate New York. We're talking about a 2% cap. It just went up 20, 25% in 1 year, one fell swoop. State income taxes. We kill ourselves to keep the state spending low so we can reduce taxes. One move, the federal government increases the state income tax 20%, 25%. Why? Well, the argument is New York has high taxes, and the federal government is going to punish New York for the high state and local taxes. Oh, you're going to punish New York? What happened to states' rights, which was an essential platform in the old gospel of the Republican Party? What happened to states' rights? You're going to punish us. Why don't you punish all state revenues? We have a property tax and an income tax. But every state raises revenue, right? Some states have a value-added tax. Some states have a real estate transfer tax. Why don't you tax those taxes? Why just New York? It's actually New York and 12 other states. Coincidentally, the 12 states are all blue states and not red states. Coincidentally, the 12 states have no representatives in the U.S. Senate. So the Senate plan, conveniently, has a federal tax plan that is funded by the states they don't represent. Isn't politics a beautiful thing? So you're taking from those 12 states to fund the tax cut in the other states. That is what this comes down to, and without justification. Now, you can say, well, you're a Democrat and you're partisan, and no, these are facts I am giving you. I'm not giving you an opinion. And by the way, we have 9 Republican congresspeople in the state of New York. 5 of the 9 are against the plan. Why? Unless the 5 of the 9 actually believe it's going to hurt the people of their district. And it will. And I say to those people who are supporting it, why would you support a plan, even if you believe the plan is right for the nation? And even if you believe, well, if we cut the tax at the top, it's going to trickle down and the middle class will get more benefits and it'll stimulate the economy. Let's say you believe all that. Why would you support a plan that has a special provision that is a dagger at the state of New York, your home state? Why would you ever support that plan? Support the whole plan, but say, do me a favor. Don't kill the people in my district. Now, they have a compromise proposal that says we will cap the amount that is deductible. So people up to $10,000 can deduct, but you can't deduct anything over $10,000. And some Congress people have said, well, I'm going to support that, because then only the rich people in my district have to pay higher taxes. This must be upside down world, okay? You now have a Republican argument that says we should tax the rich. Where am I? How many years has the argument been we're against the millionaire's tax from the Republican Party? Why? Because if you tax the rich, they will leave. The top 10% of taxpayers in the state of New York pay 73% of the taxes. And the argument has been, if you force those high-income earners from the state, we're going to have a real problem. And that was the basis on which they opposed millionaires' taxes and higher taxes. What happened to that argument? The congressman who represents Western New York, who will go nameless, Congressman Collins. He says he supports it because it will have a cap of $10,000, and most of the people in his district don't pay $10,000. He's right. But the people who do pay over $10,000 represent 40% of the state revenue from his district. If they leave and we lose that 40%, what happens? Only one of two things. Option A, government cuts funding, primarily to education. Or option B, that 40% takes their money elsewhere, and the burden then falls to everyone else, the middle class and the working families. That is the reality that we are looking at. And that, my friends, can be devastating to the state of New York, especially to upstate New York, which has a fragile economy that, thanks to you, we're turning around. But this tax plan will set us back, and it will put New York at a competitive disadvantage, because only those 12 states will have this burden. We talk in upstate New York that we have an inherent disadvantage with the climate, which I've never believed. But I was watching a news show this morning, and the meteorologist said, this is why I moved from Buffalo 35 years ago, because it's -3 in Buffalo. I don't believe that. I think those negative temperatures build character. They make your skin thicker. and they just make you a more well-rounded, seasoned person. Don't you agree? But I don't accept the climate as an obstacle. It would be an obstacle if our taxes are 20% higher than every other state. That would be an obstacle. And that's why we have to fight it, and that's why we have to oppose it. You have made great progress. We have done everything right for 7 years. The facts show the approach is working. We can't have the federal government now pass a tax plan that takes a step backwards and raises the property tax and raises the income tax and sends the exact opposite signal we've sent, where they say to businesses, New York has a higher tax burden than the rest of the country. Go anywhere else but one of those 12 states. It would be a triumph for partisan politics over good policy. And now my opinion. My opinion is it would be political peril for anyone who does it, because the people in this nation are tired of people playing politics over the interest of people. You look at every election that has happened. You look at all the past elections. You look at the election last night. You know what they're saying? I'm tired of you playing politics with my life and my interest and my rights and my values. And what people are saying is, play your own politics, but I sent you there to represent me and do the right thing by me. The congressional people should not pass a plan for their party bosses that comes out of the pockets of the people they represent. That's the bottom line truth. I'm going to fight it every step of the way. If they do it, I believe it is illegal. It'll be the first time this nation has ever taxed taxes. It literally will be double taxation and put this state at a structural disadvantage. You have done too much, and this state has come too far to be set back now by a knee-jerk political partisan movement. I will fight this economic civil war. Every day I am governor of the state of New York, and any person who believes in New York and believes in fairness and believes in representative government and believes in democracy should fight the plan with us.